Deep in the Louisiana swamps, there's a man whose story runs deeper than the murky waters he calls home. Willie Edwards isn't just another face on Swamp People. He's the son of a legend, a hunter forged in the wild, and a survivor of trials most of us could never imagine. From carrying the weight of his family name to standing tall through heartbreak, Willie's journey has been one of grit, loyalty, and quiet strength. But behind every catch and every swamp season lies a story most fans never hear, one that reveals who Willie Edwards truly is. Long before cameras ever followed him into the swamp, Willie Edwards was already learning lessons most kids never face. Growing up in Bayou Sorrel, Louisiana, his childhood wasn't about toys or city streets. It was about ropes, hooks, and the steady patience of hunting. His father, Junior Edwards, known far and wide as the king of the swamp, didn't just teach Willie how to catch gators. He taught him how to survive, how to read the land, and how to respect the dangerous waters that fed their family. From an early age, Willie absorbed these lessons like second nature. He learned how to navigate the swamp's winding bayous, how to bait a line with precision, and how to stand steady when a thrashing alligator tested his strength. For him, this wasn't just a skill, it was a way of life passed down like an heirloom. By the time Willie appeared in Swamp People's very first season in 2010, viewers saw not just a young man learning from his father, but a son carrying a legacy on his shoulders. Every shot of him beside Junior was a reminder that this wasn't just TV, it was real, raw survival. But as much as Willie respected the shadow of his father's reputation, the swamp has a way of pushing a man to step out on his own. And for Willie, that moment would come sooner than anyone expected. As Swamp People rolled into its second and third seasons, fans began noticing a shift. Willie wasn't just the quiet young man trailing behind his father anymore. He was stepping into his own role. By season 3, the big change came. Willie struck out as a solo hunter. It wasn't a split born out of rebellion. Willie had nothing but respect for his father. But there comes a point where every hunter has to prove what he's made of without someone holding the line for him. For Willie, this was that moment. He began running his own boat, setting his own lines, and shouldering the full responsibility of the catch. The swamp is unforgiving, and fans saw Willie push through those challenges season after season. His style of hunting, marked by patience and quiet determination, quickly set him apart. He wasn't the loudest or flashiest figure on the water, but his results spoke for themselves. Willie showed that strength didn't always roar. Sometimes it came in the form of steady persistence. This was the transformation that fans admired most, watching a boy trained under a legend evolve into a man respected in his own right. Willie had carved his place on the show not just as Junior's son, but as a hunter to be reckoned with. But while his career was rising, life outside the show was about to deal him moments that no amount of swamp training could prepare him for. Behind the grit and calm exterior, Willie's life has been marked by heartbreak. In 2018, his family faced a devastating blow when his brother Randy passed away in a tragic accident. Randy wasn't just a sibling, he was part of the Edwards legacy, another son raised in the swamp, another chapter in the family's story. Fans who knew the Edwards clan felt the loss too, and for Willie, the pain ran deep. Losing a brother is a wound that time doesn't fully heal, and yet Willie kept moving forward, carrying Randy's memory quietly with him. Not long after, the Edwards family faced another unimaginable loss with the passing of Willie's daughter, Michaela. Details remain private, as the family has chosen to grieve in silence. But for Willie, these moments shaped him in ways that no swamp battle ever could. Through it all, he's remained a symbol of strength, not because he hasn't felt the pain, but because he's endured it while still standing strong for his family. Viewers who watch him today may not see the full weight of what he's carried, but they see the quiet resilience behind his eyes. In every season, every hunt, Willie's determination to keep going speaks louder than words. And while life took so much from him, it also offered something new, a chance to pass on his knowledge to the next generation. That's when another Edwards stepped into the boat. Even after enduring personal loss, Willie didn't step away from the swamp. If anything, his presence on Swamp People grew stronger. Season after season, fans saw him working the waters, often alone, often against odds that would break a lesser man. What made Willie stand out wasn't flashy drama or big speeches. It was his steady, relentless way of doing the work. When you watch Willie on the water, you see a man fully in his element. The ropes, the hooks, the fight with a gator. It's not just survival, it's tradition. And by the time fans got used to seeing him as a solo force, another twist made his story even more compelling. Enter little Willie, his son carrying not only the family name but also the same calm determination that defined his father. Suddenly, Swamp People wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about legacy in real time. Fans loved watching the dynamic, the way Willie passed down the same lessons his father had once given him. This wasn't just entertainment, it was history repeating itself right before the cameras. A father teaching a son, preparing him for the dangers and rewards of the swamp. And just as Willie began to settle into this new chapter, guiding his son while holding his ground as a veteran hunter, the family faced another life-changing moment that shook fans everywhere. Because the king of the swamp himself, Junior Edwards, would soon pass the torch in the most permanent way imaginable. In July 2025, news broke that shook the swamp people community to its core. Junior Edwards, the man who taught Willie everything he knew, the king of the swamp, passed away. For fans, it was the end of an era. For Willie, it was the loss of a father, mentor, and lifelong guide. Junior wasn't just a star of the show. He was a living symbol of Louisiana's swamp culture. His rugged personality, his fierce determination, and his unmatched skill made him unforgettable. But more than that, his greatest legacy wasn't just the gators he caught or the fame he earned. It was the family he raised in the swamp. For Willie, Junior's passing was another heavyweight added to years already marked by loss. But in the quiet, resilient way he's always handled life, Willie has kept moving forward. Every time he takes to the water now, he carries more than hooks and ropes. He carries his father's name, his lessons, and his spirit. Fans can see it in his eyes, every line he sets, every fight he endures. It's as if Junior is right there with him. And with little Willie stepping into the spotlight, the Edwards story isn't ending. It's evolving. The swamp has claimed many battles, but the Edwards legacy refuses to sink. And that brings us to the heart of who Willie Edwards really is. Away from the cameras, Willie Edwards is known as a family man who values privacy above everything else. Unlike many reality stars who chase the spotlight, Willie has kept his life simple, choosing the swamp over fame and family over fortune. Fans often wonder how he stays grounded after so many years on TV, and the answer lies in the same waters he grew up in. For Willie, the swamp isn't a stage, it's home. And maybe that's why viewers connect with him, because behind the danger and drama, he's just a man staying true to his roots. So who is Willie Edwards? He's more than a swamp hunter, more than a reality star, and more than the son of a legend. He's a man who's faced loss after loss, yet never let it stop him from honoring his family's legacy. He's a father, a mentor, and a quiet force in a world that demands strength every single day. When viewers watch Willie on Swamp People, they're not just watching gator hunts. They're seeing the living story of survival, tradition, and resilience play out. They're seeing a man who turned heartbreak into fuel, who carries his past not as a burden, but as a badge of endurance. The swamp may be unforgiving, but it also reveals the truth about people. And the truth about Willie Edwards is simple. He's proof that even in the darkest waters, legacy and determination can keep you afloat. As fans look to the future, one question lingers. With little Willie by his side and his father's memory behind him, what new chapter will Willie Edwards carve into the swamp's history? Because if the past is any sign, his story is far from over.